are you the father?
But don't
if
you
it was
think
just
it's
mandatory and we just
that two people have sex and there's a possibility that woman's gonna get pregnant, that it's a mature decision that, yeah, you are the father?
And you should know. But I think the stigma goes away when it becomes mandatory. When it becomes the norm that everyone has to do this is just the way it is.
We're just checking to make sure, just like you get all the time.
It's your boy Cam's Corner. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Do not treat me like a side chick. Today we're reacting to, should paternity tests be mandatory? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and let's get right into the video.
Rapper 600 Breezy is allegedly caught up in some baby mama drama.
Lord.
The artist posted a comment that was later shared on the Shade Room, and it seems that he's basically begging his ex to provide a paternity test for their children. He also claims he's not a deadbeat dad, but deserves to know for sure if he's supporting kids of his own. So ladies, this got me thinking, do you think, like, what if there was a day where maternity tests were actually, like,
Watch them all get
mandatory?
Do you know who your baby daddy is?
I'm sorry, maternity. You guys, what if there was a day where paternity tests were actually mandatory?
Why
do you
aren't
know
they?
who your baby daddy is?
I do.
Exactly.
But can I say this honestly?
Yes.
If they were mandatory, I would proudly take one because I want you to know.
That's my
I want you to know that all of this I'm going through right now,
That's
this
you.
whole back that's not even buttoned up,
That's
is
you.
because of you.
That's you. I don't understand why they're not mandatory.
Yeah,
I feel that
actually think
parents
they
should
should be.
absolutely know
Well,
what they've
that's
contributed to,
because
and
I was
children
reading
should
about that.
absolutely definitively know who their parents are.
Oh, my cards. Look, that I was reading about that, and there are activists that are trying to get a law to make it,
should
but
be
it's
mandatory.
not passing because for some women, they feel that it would make more of a stigma against women. You know,
It
that
makes
men
a stigma if you don't want to
stigmatize.
share the results.
Yeah, right.
It becomes a stigma. If it was just mandatory and it was all over, the stigma would actually go away. It gets weird because people gotta be asking you, am I your baby father? Maury Povich moments, you know? Are you the father?
But don't
if
you
it was
think it's
just
to be some
mandatory and we just
responsibility that two people have sex and there's a possibility that a woman's gonna get pregnant, that it's a mature decision that, yeah, you are the father?
and you should know. But I think the stigma goes away when it becomes mandatory. When it becomes the norm that everyone has to do this is just the way it is.
We're just checking to make sure, just like you
That's
get all
it.
the tests when you are pregnant.
That's
you're taking
it.
blood tests, you're making sure the dad's healthy, you're making sure mom's healthy.
Well, it's good
Let's just
for
make sure it's your baby.
Yeah,
Let's do that.
It's good for the genetics.
Absolutely.
I will say that.
Yes.
But I think that there's still an issue with, it's stigmatizing. Women are already women are already held to a different standard when it comes to, you know, if you're married, but a lot of women that aren't married and having multiple partners and things like that. So I think that's what that has to deal with. But
I gotta pause it there. I'm only gonna pause it once. I'll give my thoughts at the end. But you see what she's saying? She's saying it's gonna stigmatize women. She doesn't care about the children. The children should know who their father is. They should have the right to know who their father is. But this woman does not care about that. She only cares about the woman's feelings and disregards the child. And the fact that she's not even looking at it like, okay, he has a right to know if this is his child. She wants him to have to pay for a child that's not his. She wants men to be in a situation where they don't know who the child's father is, and they're ending up paying, and the women get support. All she cares about is the woman having support. And I believe the woman should have support, but from the actual father. And if you don't know who that is, you can't just pin it on a random man. But let me play the video.
I mean,
I want
if
to
they
read
can pass a law.
Yes, I want to read a case that happened, and maybe you guys know about this.
Oh, Lord,
where
here we go.
A judge of the Delta State High Court, it was one of those, where Anthony Okorodis allegedly discovered that 3 children he had with his ex-wife were not his biological offspring. According to the judge in the statement, his former wife, Celia Juliet Ototo, walked away from the marriage when the youngest child, now 17 years old, was just 6. So from 17 till 6, this man has been paying for these 3 kids. Just because, I mean, he's doing the right thing as a dad.
They ain't look like him.
You gotta look up the story, guys, because it's intense.
I just don't want women stigmatized about they get pregnant, and then the minute they get pregnant, who is the actual father? Because there are a lot of responsible women that know who they having sex with, they know who they pregnant by, and all of that.
Wait, do you know some friends who maybe aren't sure because they're not married, and they're not sure because they've just been
Well, you can be married and not know.
Clearly, in this case, you know what I'm saying? But this is my thing. I feel like it's a win-win situation when there is mandatory paternity tests. It's a win-win situation because the father knows his responsibility and the mother now has to hold him to that responsibility.
I think if people are married, it shouldn't be that way because you might be doing some business that you don't need to do, and you gotta work it out.
They need to know.
No, they need to know.
I'm gonna stand on that one.
Oh my goodness. That's the end of the clip. Why does it have to be a black woman that's talking shit, talking nonsense, and not making any sense? And the women that are not black, they're making sense. Why? Why do we have to embarrass ourselves on TV? She just said if they're married and she's doing some business on the side, she still shouldn't be able to get tested. He should still be there. What are you talking about? So basically, she's excusing the cheating that she's doing. But if the roles were reversed and we're talking about a man cheating on his wife, she would say that he needs to be exposed and he needs to be dogged out. Make it make sense. And another thing I want you to realize, 65%, I'll put the stat here, 65% of all paternity tests done show that the father is not the father of the children. That's more than 50%. That's a wild chance. If I told you there's a 65% chance that when you start your car this morning, it's gonna blow up, you wouldn't get in. You just wouldn't. Me personally, all my children are getting DNA tested. I don't care if I'm married. I don't care what the situation is. I'm testing all my children. There's no way I'm raising a kid for 7 years, 10 years, 25 years, and to find out it's not my kid. Some men out here, like the guy that she just said in the story, that he has 3 children and none of them were his. That man, by the way, he's probably in his 50s, 60s by now. He's never going to have children, and he had no idea. That's why it's bullshit. That's why it's not fair. That man is never going to have kids of his own, and he never knew. I don't care what you say. Oh, well, you know, they are his kids. He's been raising them for 17 years. He should still be there for them. That's up to him if he wants to. But at the end of the day, those are not his children. His bloodline ends there. His bloodline's done. That's it. Kaput. Like, that's it. It's done. That is not fair. What I think is going to happen once this law passes is you're going to see a lot of men being exposed to the truth of what their girls are actually doing. More than 65% of women that take a paternity test, the child does not belong to the father that they're testing it for. 65%. So that means pretty much, let's just be conservative and say the number's boosted. 1 in every 2 people walking around right now do not belong to the father that they think. They don't. And it's just crazy to see. And there's one thing that she said that I want you to take note. She said, doesn't the father look like the child? Like, doesn't he know? Don't you look like the father? I'll tell you why that's a misconception. First of all, half the genetics is from the mom. Number 2, most women have a type, right? So if, for example, me, if a woman's attracted to me, the man that she's gonna probably cheat on me with will look similar enough to me where the child will look similar enough to me where I'm not gonna be questioning it. Unless it's like that episode on Maury where the white woman had a white husband and the kid was half black. Obviously something like that, you already know what it is. It's GG's. You know, throw the kid out with the bathwater. You got to. There's nothing you can do about that. But finally, let me know what you think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Do not treat me like a side chick. And as I said earlier in the video, we are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're at 772 right now. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. When we get to 1,000 subscribers, we'll do a special video, or I'll shout someone out, or I'll do something. I don't know. But let me know what you think. Let me know if you think this law is just or unjust. If this is something that should be applied in US or maybe just in some states, or do you think it applies only to non-married couples, or do you think it should include married couples as well? Again, I'm Cam's Corner, and I'm out.